Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
December 18, 2020, the Credit Suisse Charged Edition. And we begin with that, our lead story. Switzerland's federal prosecutor has filed criminal charges against Credit Suisse for allegedly facilitating money laundering on a grand scale for former Bulgarian clients. The indictment put before Switzerland's federal crime court yesterday. Investigators said the bank had processed more than 158 million of transactions for a clan of mafioso and top-level wrestlers earned from smuggling tons of cocaine into Europe and other illegal activities. The bank said in a statement that it noted the charges with, quote, astonishment, end quote, as it did nothing wrong. The legal team is very confident it will prevail. Clearly, when Swiss prosecutors bring a claim against a Swiss company for money laundering, or Swiss bank, rather, that is a huge deal. Typically, it's the Americans or someone else. So it must be bad if the Swiss prosecutors are bringing it. Next up, for anyone who didn't hear, the United States was severely hacked over the past few months by Russia. Whether Trump personally was involved or not, who knows? But federal investigators reported evidence of previously unknown tactics by the Russians for penetrating government computer networks, a development that underscores the disastrous reach of recent intrusions and logistical nightmares facing federal officials trying to purge intruders from key systems, while the Trump administration is firing people disloyal to Trump personally. So you have to put this one squarely on Trump. He has just gutted our defenses, and who knows what he's been saying to Putin. But what it means for corporations is the U.S. government's not safe. Imagine what your company's going to be like. Next up, the Sackler family had a video conference hearing with House members today, House Oversight Committee, and they came out swinging and said they had nothing to do with the opioid crisis. They're very sorry that thousands of people have died, but that was not their responsibility. It was a responsibility for non-family members. Just incredible lack of any empathy by the Sackler family. They helped create a major drug crisis with the opioid crisis. They have avoided all liability. They put their company into bankruptcy to avoid liability, and they're doing every trick they can to avoid any personal liability. So when we finally got them under oath, they said they just dissimulated. So who knows where this is going to go. And finally, Robinhood Financial has been ordered to pay $65 million to settle the SEC probe. It settles regulatory claims that it didn't sufficiently disclose its business deals with high-speed trading firms. The fine is a setback for the fast-growing company, which has helped millions of investors access the stock market. The problem is millions of investors have accessed the stock market, and they've all been taken to the cleaners by this promise of free trades. Settlement solves one regulatory cloud over Robinhood, but it has others going on. So it's not clear where Robinhood is going to go forward, as the state of Massachusetts also has an investigation, and the losses of youngsters who got access to this platform have just been devastating, and it's going to see what the regulators do. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.